Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in 2 minutes. Excellent
listening
locations are still available all around Showcase Promenade. Due to the use of
alcohol and opinions.
around the lagoon, for your safety, we request that you remain on the promenade side of all railings. During the show, please watch your step and take small children firmly by the hand. Once again, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in just 2 minutes. Thank you.
The Diz Explorers podcast. This is Adrianne, and it being the holidays, we are recording this on December 25th, so Merry Christmas or happy whatever it is that you celebrate. I am sitting down with my husband today.
Hello.
And we thought we would just sit down and do a really quick trip report from our recent trip to Disney World. We went down for about 6 days and stayed at the Boardwalk Resort, which was a first for both of us. And like I said, we just kind of wanted to sit down and give a brief explanation of everything that we did. Even though we have been to Disney World several different times, we tried to throw in some things that neither of us had done before, had some really neat experiences, and had some good meals. And so we just wanted to go into that a little bit more in detail. So we drove down on a Wednesday. We live in South Carolina, so we're about a 10-hour drive with frequent breaks like we have with young children. And we drove down on a Wednesday, stopped in Georgia overnight, finished the trip the next morning. And the reason we wanted to do that was because one of the things that we were trying for the very first time was Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. We've done the Halloween party twice now and wanted to give the Christmas party a try. My sister also came down with us this time, and she hadn't done any of the special ticketed events. So she wanted to experience that as well. So for it being our very first day, we didn't want to come in straight to the party after having been in the car for 10 hours. So we wanted to make sure that we were rested. So we ended up coming into the resort around 1? Yeah, around 1 on Thursday, and that was December the 14th. And what were some of your first impressions of the resort, Christopher?
It was gorgeous. I mean, you walk in, you see a little carousel of horses. When you first walk in the door, big vaulted ceilings. I mean, it's just overwhelming. I mean, it's just a gorgeous place.
And it helped, I think, a lot, too, that the weather in particular was beautiful that day. Bright blue sky, lots of clouds in the sky. I posted a few pictures on my Facebook and on my Twitter. But I think we were both just completely overwhelmed with the beauty of the entire resort. I'm not going to lie, I was a little worried about staying there because it wasn't our first choice. Our first choice was Wilderness Lodge, but going down at Christmas, you can imagine that that's a very difficult reservation to get. So we weren't able to and ended up going with the Boardwalk instead. And I was completely blown away with the theming, with the dining, with the atmosphere in general.
And the convenience. Convenience, you can't top that.
It's true. The Boardwalk, for those of you that don't know, is situated on Crescent Lake, I think it's called, and you are directly in between Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So they're both about a 10 to 15 minute walk, depending on where you're located within the resort, to either of those parks. So we were so excited that we didn't have to use Disney transportation, and we didn't have to drive, because usually when we're down in our car, we drive.
Never once hopped on a monorail.
Yeah, we didn't touch a monorail or tram.
It was great. Never once stepped foot in the parking lot.
We didn't touch the Ticket and Transportation Center, which was even better, I think. Even though we did go to Magic Kingdom because we went to the the Christmas party. But, yeah, it was, I think we just hopped a bus for that, right?
We did, and it dropped us off right at the front door.
Yeah, and that's one of the big changes that Disney has done recently is the security. And it used to be that when you arrived at Magic Kingdom, the security for everyone arriving to the park, no matter where you were located, was at the front of the park. And now it's been backed out, so either at the Ticket and Transportation Center, or if you're arriving from the buses, you go through bag check everything at closer to the bus station, or if you're arriving from a monorail resort, it's actually done before you board the monorail. So that has been a very positive change, but there is still a lot of I don't want to say backlog because that's not the word I'm looking for, but like it still gets backed up at the Ticket and Transportation Center because I feel like that's where most people...
Yeah, that's more like the hub to get into Magic Kingdom.
Right, exactly. And a lot of people are also going to Epcot, I guess, that come there. So it's just, that's been a really positive change because as soon as we got off the bus, you went through bag check really fast. And of course, experienced Disney World travelers know that when you get to the bag check, you have everything unzipped. The guy does doop, doop, doop all through your bag or whatever it is that you're bringing in with you, and you're in. And also as annual pass holders, we love that they now have a specific annual pass holder entrance into the parks because it's usually less crowded, and it usually works for us best because we kind of know the procedure and how to get in. And
you're not the new person trying to figure out how to operate the machine.
Granted, it takes me about 3 tries before I remember which finger is coded with my magic band, but I finally figured it out this time, and
had 10 chances, you figured it out.
And our kids too didn't have trouble getting into the Christmas party.
Well, I put her magic band with my finger.
Right, and Zachary, our son, is on mine, so that kind of helped too that they were split up. But the party itself, I felt like I kind of felt like I knew what I was getting into because we'd done the Halloween party. But first off, I've never been to the parks when they've been decorated for Christmas. This was the first time I've ever done a December trip, and I've seen pictures, but nothing could compare, I think, to walking in and seeing that giant Christmas tree.
No, it was gorgeous. I mean, you picture the lighting of big Christmas trees and stuff. You can't compare anything to it. I mean, it's amazing. And
the intermittent snowing on Main Street was beautiful, and even though it's like soap or whatever bubbles it is that they've got going, it's still magical to be in Florida and be in a Disney park and seeing the castle all lit up, and then to have faux snow falling around your shoulders is still a pretty magical experience. What would you say your goals were for the party?
Just to see everything new that they've put out just for the holiday season.
Yeah.
Because we've been to the Halloween party a couple times, so we've kind of seen some of those decorations. Just really curious to see what kind of decoration they put out for Christmas: the wreaths, the trees, the little Christmas presents, the bows. I mean, they
go all out.
They do.
I mean, you would expect nothing less from Disney, I think.
Then after watching the video, we found out they'd done it overnight.
Right. We did. I don't know if anybody's not seen it on Freeform. They have a special about decorating the Disney parks for Christmas, and it's a must-watch if you're interested in how they do it and all the work that goes into it. Our kids are at this weird place where they're not really into doing attractions at all. We did talk them into doing the Jingle Cruise, which is the Jungle Cruise overlay, which is a generous way to talk about it because it's still pretty much just the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, they'll have a little Santa hat on the rhinoceros, or some of the little characters throughout the ride. They'll put a present or gift in certain little spots,
and some of the jokes I think were a little bit different, but it's the Jungle Cruise, and that's either your thing or it's not. It is definitely my thing. I love the Jungle Cruise. I think Christopher and I were probably the only ones laughing our butts off the whole ride.
They even renamed the little boats.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if you noticed that.
I forgot what they were called or what ours was called, but
I can't remember. Rudolph something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So I know Disneyland gets a lot more overlays for their attractions, but here in Disney World we basically just get the Jingle Cruise, and that's okay, because like I said, I love the Jungle Cruise itself. Puns are totally my thing. So really, we didn't ride that many attractions. We did the Jingle Cruise. You and Alyssa did Haunted Mansion and Pirates.
Yes.
Yeah. And while they were doing that, the kids and I went and kind of explored some of the character interactions. We met Prince Charming and Cinderella and Elena of Avalor. Wanted to meet Tiana and Naveen, but the line for that was insane. We looked at meeting Aladdin and Abu, but that line was too long too. Right? Aladdin and Abu? Because Jasmine meets with Genie, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. So, but we did also explore a few of the free food items that come out with the party. At the Halloween party, you get to go trick-or-treating, but at the Christmas party, they do cookies and apple juice or some sort of, something Christmassy. Now, some of the stops had like Dove chocolates, and one of them was a icy kind of thing.
Like a snow cone. Yeah,
snow cone. That's the word I was looking for. And a pretzel. There was a snowman pretzel. Cookies. There were lots of different cookies. My favorite cookie was the ginger molasses cookie, for sure.
Yeah, that was good.
That one was good. It was soft. I like soft cookies.
That's the same place we picked the eggnog up.
Yeah. I don't like eggnog, but I really liked the cookie. Melanie, I think, liked the apple cider.
No.
Yeah, but she really liked the apple cider. And they were both really into the snow cone.
Yeah, the sugar cookie was probably third place.
Third place?
Yeah.
And what was second place?
The one I can't remember.
The molasses one?
Yes.
Yeah, they were all really good. They were all good. I mean, I'm not going to complain about any of the cookies. I mean, it's free cookies. So, yeah. And, of course, the lines are moving quickly, and Disney, of course, knows how to get you in and out of places so that you can do the rest of the stuff. We did make a pit stop in Cosmic Rays because for some reason we always end up at Cosmic Rays when we're in Magic Kingdom, mainly just because indoor seating, bathroom, and chicken nuggets, which is like the trifecta when you have young children.
We started this in the inner circle to where Cosmic Ray.
Yeah, but what is it was going down there? Some sort of dance party.
Yeah, so like a DJ dance party.
Yeah, and it was foggy.
Very loud.
And I couldn't handle it. I don't think the kids could either.
If you think you're getting a headache, don't go in there.
Yeah, it was pretty loud. So we ended up sitting nearer to the bathrooms, sort of in the back of that restaurant, which was good because my sister volunteered to watch the kids for a little bit while they ate, and we went to ride Space Mountain, and then we came back, and of course the children had a bathroom emergency, and my poor sister was having to take them to the bathroom, which is never fun. Thank gosh for companion bathrooms. And after that, Christopher was so kind as to take the children back to the resort because they were cranky and tired and would never have made it through. Oh, no. Before that, we watched the castle lighting with Elsa.
We did.
Elsa and Anna and Olaf and Kristoff do a little show in front of the castle, and then Elsa uses her ice powers to light it up with icicles and light and magic, and it's beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. I mean, I think there's some projection mapping too up on the castle, right? That make it look all fractally, and
they use a lot of LEDs as well.
Yeah, and tons of LED lights, and it's spectacular. It is absolutely spectacular. So that was one of the highlights of the night for sure. And then Christopher and the kids went back to the resort, and my sister and I stayed and watched. What did we do first? Oh, we went to Tomorrowland. No, we went to Tomorrowland first because Alyssa had never ridden Astro Orbiters. So we got up on Astro Orbiters, which is fine. It's not my favorite ride in the world. And we did the People Mover, because that is one of my favorite things. And then we got down and watched Christmas Wishes or Holiday Wishes or whatever it's called from Tomorrowland before setting up and finding a spot to watch the parade. Which, if you have not had an opportunity to watch the Christmas parade, look it up on YouTube or something, because it's really, really cute. We had great cast member interactions. I feel like a lot of people say that the Halloween party is probably better and that the Halloween parade is better. And I guess so. I don't remember a whole lot about the Halloween parade, to be honest. I was probably tired. But we had an up front seat right at the end of Main Street for this parade, and we stayed for the second parade, which I was told was much less crowded, but it did not feel much less crowded. But the parade itself was fine. Like I said, I mean, it's cute. The toy soldiers come out. Everything was adorable. But it was really the individual cast members, as is usually the case, that really made it special. They were, interacting with the crowd, saying some cute things, making jokes as they were going through the parade. So it was, that was definitely the best part. Then Alyssa and I wrapped it up about midnight that night. Which, to anybody who knows me at all, knows that that's pretty amazing, because I am not a late night person at all. Much rather go to bed early. But anyway, I made it somehow and went back to the resort. And the next day was at Hollywood Studios, right? But that morning is when we did the Surrey bike ride.
Oh, yeah. Fun that was.
The Boardwalk offers a Surrey bike, and if you don't know what that is, it's like a multi-person bike.
It's like a quad
thing.
bike.
Yeah, like a quad bike, but it also has like a top on it. And the kids, we got a 6-person bike. Me and Christopher were in the front. My sister was in the back, and the kids get to sit on like this little ledge at the very front. So they were in front of me and Christopher, and the path goes from Boardwalk to past the International Gateway to get into Epcot, Beach Club, Yacht Club, by the Swan and Dolphin, and then back.
It was
and
7/8 of a
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not even a full mile, but holy cow, that was exhausting.
Yeah.
There are these twists and turns and hills, and by the time you get to the Swan and Dolphin,
You're tired.
And it took us about 10 minutes to do each lap.
Yeah.
And it was $25 for 30 minutes. And after the second lap, we'd only been on like 20 minutes. The kids were going, let's go again. And we're all sitting there going, no, we're done. We're done. Enjoy this lap, because we're not doing another one.
Small incline. It's treacherous.
It was awful. So, but that was really fun too, because we had been in the beach club when we did Beaches and Cream in June, right? So we had seen it a little bit, but I'd never seen the back side of it. So with the pools and the beach, which was really pretty.
That was really neat.
It was neat.
Little sandy little beach area with all sorts of lounge chairs and stuff.
And the big pirate ship
Yeah.
going off. It was really neat. Like I said, I had never been, besides Beaches and Cream, I'd never been to any of the Epcot resorts. So it was a good experience just to see all of that. I still don't think I want to stay in Yacht Club, but Beach Club is a maybe at some point. But it's going to take a lot for me not to stay at Boardwalk again, I think.
Yeah, Boardwalk has become one of my favorites.
Definitely. But we,
I think, like previously stated, it's the convenience. You can't beat that.
Yeah, definitely. So we had finished up the Surrey bike ride. I think we probably grabbed a snack down on the Boardwalk.
When did we get pizza? Was it that day?
No, that was the first day. That was the first thing we got, I think, was pizza at the pizza window. Which I think when I had mentioned earlier on the podcast that I was a little nervous about staying at Boardwalk, it was mainly about the food. Every resort we had ever stayed in had some sort of quick service food court where you had lots of different options. And if my kids wanted to eat chicken nuggets at every meal, it's fine. It was there. It was available. But that is the one thing that the Boardwalk lacks, is it does not have a typical food court. Instead, it has the Boardwalk Bakery, which gives you some pastries and some hot foods at breakfast. and then deli meals throughout the rest of the day. There's a pizza window.
The
ESPN Club. There's several table service restaurants. The ESPN Club, Trattoria Al Forno, and the Flying Fish.
Abracadabras had food.
Didn't?
It
But
did.
just like snacks or like food?
I didn't get that. I didn't get past that.
The drink menu. And there were some food kiosks, but then we weren't prepared for the food kiosk because they didn't take Magic Band or Disney gift card.
No.
It was either cash or like your debit card. So that threw us for a loop that first night too, because I wanted fried macaroni and cheese bites, and I didn't have any way to pay for it. So thank gosh Christopher had some cash on him, because when you're at Disney World, you expect to be in the Disney bubble and really only have to live off your Magic Band. And so that
If you're not prepared, that
it threw me for a loop, because after I ordered it, he told me how much it was, and I was like, oh crap, you don't have a place to scan my Magic Band. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna have to cancel my order.
Well, he had a piece of paper on the front window that said they didn't accept Magic Bands or Disney gift cards.
Yeah, well, I didn't read that apparently.
Yeah, I noticed.
But anywho, but then we did go to Hollywood Studios and rode Christopher's favorite attraction, which is
The Rock and Roller Coaster.
Rock and Roller Coaster. And because we had a third adult with us this time, we were able to use the rider swap. We used it at every opportunity. Even if you have a fast pass, you can still ask for the rider swap. Basically, you just go, and as you're scanning in, ask the cast member for you want a rider swap ticket, and they will give you either a paper fast pass or a plastic card that you then exchange at the front of the line or at the end of the line.
Sometimes they'll actually show, or want you to show proof that
You
there is
actually
an
have
adult with a
kids.
child there.
Yeah, and we had that happen a couple of times. It never happened to me before. I'd never been asked to show proof that I have children, but this time I was asked several times, and I'm thinking probably because it was getting into the busier season, and because it is a free service that's really awesome. Disney probably is cracking down on people who might exploit that advantage, but because we did genuinely have a third adult with the small children who weren't going to ride Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, we were able to use the rider swap. And again, just to remind you guys what that is, if you have an adult that is staying out with the kids, 2 adults can go ride, ask for the rider swap. It is like an old school paper fast pass that is good usually until the end of that month.
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you have to use it immediately. It's good usually for several days. And that one paper fast pass is good for up to 3 people.
Yeah.
So after Christopher and I rode Rock and Roller Coaster, and I'm sorry if y'all hear my cat, it's purring and sneezing behind me. But after Christopher and I rode Rock and Roller Coaster, then we used the fast pass.
And you get to go through the fast pass.
Yeah, and you go through the
with the rider swap.
Exactly. So you don't have to wait and stand by for a second time just because you happen to have small children that can't or won't ride the ride. Like Melanie, our 7-year-old, she's tall enough to ride every single ride in Disney World, but she's still a little bit of a scaredy cat. And
She started off strong.
she did. We used to ride Seven Dwarfs Mine Train over and over and over, and now nothing. Nothing. We had to beg her to get on Living with the
Her
Land.
favorite ride is the monorail back to the resort.
It's totally true. So, but we did do that. Christopher and Alyssa and Melanie went to go do Indiana Jones.
Which is still a good show.
Yeah, still, I hope that it stays. I have a feeling it's probably going to go away at some point for something, but it is still a lot of fun.
Well, we got there early 'cause we had fast pass for it. So we got in, got a seat. We stayed toward the back, just in case Melanie decided she needed to get up and go to the restroom, or if she started feeling scared because there is some fire. It does get a little bit loud. But once everybody else filed in, you couldn't find another seat, and they had people lined up behind us that had to stay against the wall. I mean, it was packed, and it was a good show. And they usually have one cast member it's kind of planned out that they will actually pick people from the crowd, and this person will happen to be one of them, and they get to play a little part in the show. And it's really cute. It's a lot of fun, and those guys, they do a tremendous job.
And while you guys were doing that, we knew Zachary, our 4-year-old, wouldn't like it because there are elements of fire and things that are a little bit scarier. So he had begged to go on Toy Story Mania, which we did not have a fast pass for because we had used our tier 1 fast passes for Rock and Roller Coaster, and it was a posted 65 minute wait. I can't remember. Zachary and I got through it in 45 minutes, I think, so that was good. But he made it through exactly 2 rotations of Toy Story Mania before he decided he was terrified of that too. And we spent the rest of the ride huddled up together in a hug so that he wouldn't freak out.
He's not real fond of 3D rides.
No. And I think the jerking scared him too, because, it kind of throws you around to each next wall or ride part or whatever. I think that scared him. And it was really hard for me. Like, I had to remember that, like, I'm a mom and that my job first is to make sure that my child is comforted, because
Not to beat
the score.
A little competitive.
I'm a little bit competitive, and I was like, but can I at least do, like, at the end when the pies are coming, like, I really wanted to play that part, and he wouldn't let me. I had to do my mama job.
Congratulations, you beat a 4-year-old.
Well, it's not even that. I like to win. So anyway, that was our Hollywood Studios day. Next day we started out the morning at Animal Kingdom. We had a fast pass bright and early for Cali River Rapids. You can imagine that we decided not to do that.
I think it was 50-something degrees that morning.
Yeah.
It was a cool morning.
Yeah.
The afternoon, later on in the evening, it was great. I think it was high mid-70s.
Yeah. But that morning we definitely decided as a group it was too cold to spend the rest of the day wet.
One of the kids wanted to do it.
Melanie.
Yeah.
Melanie wants to do it. The kid who doesn't want to do anything wanted to do Cali River Rapids, but
don't want to ride Splash Mountain
But
again.
not Splash Mountain. Whatever. So we went to Everest. Is Everest what we did first?
Yes.
Okay.
So we did Everest before we went to Flight of Passage.
But when did we do the safaris? So did we do the safaris without a fast pass?
Yeah, because it was only like a 15-minute wait.
Okay. So
And
we did
almost walked
safaris
right onto it.
first. And it was a good safari, I thought. Lots of movement. What is it that we saw that we'd never seen? The baby warhogs?
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
we'd
they
never
had a
seen
bunch
those.
of those out.
And we got a really great view of people doing the Wild Africa trek. They were doing the ropes course across the crocodiles, which just cemented in Christopher and I's mind that that's definitely what we want to do.
That's on our to-do list next
Yes,
summer.
definitely. The lions were lazy,
Of course.
of
Big cats.
course. Yeah. Giraffes moved a little bit. Lots of rhinoceroses or
The hippos were laying out because they were trying to get warm.
right.
Because it
No,
wasn't
but we
warm.
saw a black rhinoceros and we'd never seen one of those
Yeah,
either.
we've seen the black rhino.
Yeah.
We've seen the black rhino, the white rhino.
And ostriches, bunnies. Anything else?
There were several.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they were.
I mean, the springboks, like all the things that are normally out and moving. But I think the baby warthogs were the only ones that really stuck in my brain that time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But the hippos, usually they're in the water when we get
Yeah.
by. And they had, I think, 2 or 3 that were covered in mud, just laying there just getting sun.
Yeah.
Because
The crocodiles were too, I think.
Yeah, because it was a cooler morning.
It was.
But there was one hippo that was underwater.
So,
But there were a lot of animals out that morning.
Yeah. Oh, and the safari bridge. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know, like, okay, there's this part of the safari, if you've never been on it, where they pretend like you're going over a rickety bridge, like, oh gosh, the road is closed.
You
I
hear
guess
the
we'll have
sound
to take
effects of
Yeah.
creaking.
And you're like, oh, ha ha ha, whatever. Well, this time when we were on the safari, we were on the very back row, which we had never done before. And by golly, the freaking thing is on hydraulics or something. I don't know. But like when he was going, oh no, we're going to fall. Be careful. Legit, the bridge
Everybody slid to the left.
like dropped down to the left. And we were like, oh my gosh, that never happened before. So that was scary. And just be prepared for that because I cannot even tell you how many times we've done the safaris. I mean,
Never noticed that part.
never, ever. And we've done it at least once every trip.
We hear the noise, but we didn't know it moved.
Holy crap, it was scary. So anyway, safari. And then we went to Everest, where we did more rider swaps. And didn't we save one for when we came back that evening?
We did.
Yeah. We did Everest. And then some kind lady at the bus stop had given us a rider swap for Dinosaur.
Yeah, me and Alyssa used it.
So you and Alyssa went to do Dinosaur, and I took the kids to get their faces painted. And then we left and went to Animal Kingdom Lodge for Sanaa.
Yes.
Which was fabulous, as always. Christopher and I had been there before, but the kids and Alyssa never had. So we ordered the bread service, and we asked them not to bring the onion one because I don't like the onion one. And super special tip, there's a 10th sauce. The way the bread service works is you get the non-bread, and then there's a couple of different options. You can do a 6 sauce, I think, which is a little bit cheaper, but you have to pick 6 of the 9 sauces to try, or you can pay like a couple dollars more and go ahead and get all 9 sauces.
And just go ahead and get all 9.
Yeah, just
go
do
ahead
it.
and get the variety.
They're so good. I couldn't choose 6 if I tried.
Yeah,
Except for I didn't really like the mango salsa one.
Yeah, I think Mel liked that one.
Did she?
Yeah.
She liked the roasted red pepper hummus the best. Yeah. And Alyssa liked the garlic one, I think. But we stuck down towards the jalapeno hot side.
Yeah, because they go in order from not hot all the way to the hottest one. It was like that 10th one.
Yeah, so there's a
It
super
will fire
secret
you
10th
up.
one. And I can't remember what he called it. It started with a P. Like Pyong. I don't remember. I really don't. But
If you like hot food or something really spicy, you'll enjoy it.
It was really good. So if you ever go to Sanaa and you like super spicy stuff, ask for the secret 10th sauce. You will not regret it.
And you take the first bite, you're just like, oh, it's not bad. It's really sweet. And about 5 seconds into it, it lights you up.
It really does. It's a sneaky heat. And then Christopher got the Sanaa burger again, which is good. Mm-hmm. I'd gotten the barbecue something or another. Barbecue sandwich. And it was good. Sanaa is excellent. I can't complain about it at all. Not to mention the fact that the food is good, but the views are spectacular. You are in the Kidani Village, which is the DVC, Disney Vacation Club section of Animal Kingdom Lodge. And Sanaa has windows on the entire outside walls, which is on the savannah. So you can see the giraffes and the birds and the cattle corn things. Horn cattle. I can't remember what they're called either. Anyway, all the animals out on the savannah, you can see them while you're eating, which is good. We didn't have a great seat for that, but we had seen it before. We had stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge several times, so I think we were fairly familiar with what was out there on the savannah. But, I mean, it was a good meal. As always, I will always highly recommend Sanaa. But then we went back to the resort to kind of chill out a little bit and rest because we were sending the kids to a kid club.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it. We send ours to Lilo's Playhouse at the Polynesian, and it costs $110 per night. It opens at 4:30. You can let them stay all the way until midnight, and there is an annual pass discount. There is nothing more worth it on our trip than sending the kids to the kids club at least one night. They have a great time. They did cooking. They did science experiments. They had a dance party with Captain Hook. And we went back to Animal Kingdom.
And if you don't pick them up by midnight, they give them 5-hour energy drinks, donuts.
It's true. We were threatened. But we did Everest once or twice. I mean, several times.
Maybe 3 times.
Maybe 3 times. I don't know. And had a fast pass for Flight of Passage, which is still my favorite attraction of any theme park I've ever been in ever. And thank goodness we had that fast pass because it was a 4-hour wait.
Yeah, 4
a
hours.
Posted 4-hour wait when we got in line for fast pass. And we were in the fast pass line for 40 minutes at least.
Yeah. Then there was one guy, he was real disgruntled.
Yes.
He was yelling. He'd been in line for 5 hours. How come we're letting people in front of him?
And then we found out, I felt really bad for the guy because, of course, I'd had that experience in June. We were in line for 3 hours because the ride had gone down. And then, of course, someone pulled a fire alarm and we were evacuated from the building, which was awesome. So I totally understand being disgruntled. And that's the most popular ride there is at the Disney parks right now. So you've really got to plan accordingly if you're going to try to ride it, especially without a fast pass. But that guy was ticked. I mean, he was ticked. And then we talked to the cast members, and it turns out that one of the theaters was down.
Right.
So the ride was moving even slower than normal. But I have no complaints about that ride. I love it. Love it, love it. After we got off it, I think we were done, right? At Animal Kingdom, because they closed at 8.
Yeah, we were going to go to the
Nomad
Lounge. And it, like I said, it closed at 8. I don't think we got off a Flight of Passage till...
It was like 5 after 8.
Yeah.
So we left, and we didn't have any dinner reservations. We've been trying for Ohana for months and couldn't get one.
Which we tried to go to...
Trader Sam's?
Trader Sam's before that, and it was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
Then we went back
And
after.
it was still a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
So we ended up, I think, eating at Captain Cook's. And,
We went to the bar at Ohana
oh, yeah. And we hung out
Before.
there for a little bit.
before we even left.
And then we went to Captain Cook's. And then we were going to try to just go out on that back patio that belongs to Trader Sam's. And it was packed, too, I think, because fireworks were going on. So we didn't luck out on Trader Sam's at all this time.
Sweet.
Yep. And Ohana. We tried. We even talked to the front desk concierge at the Polynesian, and we weren't able to get in. So Christopher's asked that I make sure that that's on the 180-day mark for our next trip next year.
Mm-hmm.
We went and picked up the kids. They were a little ticked off that we were there to pick them up because they were having so much fun. They don't let adults go back behind the mark. Like, you can't enter into the kid club no matter what. And the woman was like, you're going to have to come get your kid because he's not leaving.
He was playing a video game.
Yeah, he was playing Minecraft. So, and he doesn't play Minecraft at home, so he was probably completely and
They do
totally...
a good job keeping the kids entertained.
They do. We watched part of the cooking class one time, right? When
Yeah,
we
they
went to
make
go pick them out.
cookies.
And the woman was adorable, talking her little French accent and teaching the kids how to cook. And I think they did a science experiment with the volcano or something this time
They
too.
did.
So, but we ended up picking them up right at 10. So did we let them sleep in the next morning? Yes, because next morning was Whispering Canyon.
Oh, that's fun.
We went to, we'd originally planned another Magic Kingdom day. We were supposed to have a lazy morning because we knew we would have stayed out late for, with the kids club and us going to Animal Kingdom or whatever. So we had already planned to have kind of a lazy morning. We were going to start out at Wilderness Lodge at their restaurant called the Whispering Canyon Cafe. And the reason we did that is because we didn't get to stay at Wilderness Lodge, so we still wanted to see all the decorations. And so this was kind of our way of doing it. And they were running behind, too. We had a 10:15 reservation, right? And didn't get in until 10:30, 10:40.
Yeah.
Something like that. So we were all starving and kind of cranky. Zachary had already had a couple of meltdowns that morning, but, such is the life of having a 4-year-old.
I couldn't play on the little pond.
Right. They have a little pond creek thing that starts inside the lobby and then goes outside into the little courtyard area. And, he was pretty ticked off that I wouldn't let him go swimming. So, like I said, 4-year-old.
It's tough.
It's tough. Bless them. Bless their little hearts. So instead, no, not instead, but we decided not to go to Magic Kingdom but to keep our breakfast. And I had never been there. None of us had ever been there. I had heard about Whispering Canyon. And if you haven't been there, but maybe you've been to 50's Primetime Cafe, it's kind of, the waiters are kind of similar. I got yelled at twice.
Yeah, for your elbows on the table.
Yeah, for having my elbows on the table. When he came to give us our drinks, he threw the napkins down and tossed straws at us. But I don't even know if I should tell you guys because it's so funny.
You can tell them the first one, don't tell them the second one.
Which one?
You can tell them about ketchup.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, if you don't like attention, don't ask for ketchup at Whispering Canyon Cafe because they will make a giant deal out of it. And also, they serve you potatoes for breakfast that need ketchup.
And it's purposely not ketchup on every table.
Right, right.
So you have to ask for it.
If you want it, you have to ask. And don't
steal it.
Don't steal it. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be sneaky and don't try to steal it because
they'll catch you.
They'll catch you, and it's hilarious. But we saw lots of funny stuff. They sang. We did the "If You're Happy and You Know It" song. The table beside us, their receipt was like 20 feet long. We've heard stories. It didn't happen to us, but we've heard stories of if you ask for mayonnaise, they bring you like a 5-gallon bucket of mayonnaise. Is what our server told us. Oh, sorry, I didn't know. And if you ask for too many refills, they'll bring you a mason jar the size if it's over your head. I've heard. So it's just.
I didn't hear that one. I must have took Zachary to the bathroom.
Probably, but so it's just a really fun, hilarious atmosphere. It's great, but just don't think you're going in for a normal breakfast is all that I want to warn you if you have not been there. It's hands down.
It's the best.
It's the best meal.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Meal experience, I think, that we had that whole trip. Possibly ever. That might be my favorite restaurant we've ever been to.
There's any other restaurant you go to, I mean, it's like a character breakfast, dinner, lunch, and you'll have them come up to you, and they're in the character role. But at Whispering Canyons, it's fun.
It was. It was so much fun. And then we kind of explored the resort a little bit, bought a couple of things from their little store, and then we went back to the boardwalk because, like I said, that was supposed to be our Magic Kingdom day, and we had decided not to go back to Magic Kingdom because the kids weren't super into doing any of the attractions. They didn't want to go back after the Christmas party. There was nothing there that we had felt like we wanted to do again. So we went back to the resort, kind of rested for a little bit, and then we decided to walk over to Epcot.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to check out the International Gateway. We'd never been in that way before. And went to Japan, right, to get kakigori.
When did we do breakfast in France?
That was the next day, okay. I think. Yeah, I think that was here.
Okay.
We went to Japan. They had I can't remember what it's called. One of that Epcot's got 1,007 festivals going on, but it's like their Christmas celebration festivals with food booths and things like that. So we kind of walked around and checked out the World Showcase. I don't think we even stepped foot into Future World, did we?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. We just kind of took an easy day, had a snack, walked around, and just kind of checked it all out a little bit. And at one point, I know we split up. You and Melanie went somewhere, and me and Alyssa and Zach went around, because that's when she got the little maple, God, what was it called? Like the frozen s'more drink. That was disgusting. I don't know. And you and Melanie went on a search for popcorn. That's all I remember.
No, it was a search for cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Sorry.
That's the day we snuck. No? Did we sneak back to the resort that day to go swimming? No, that was Monday.
Yeah, that was Monday. So no. Sunday, I don't think you did that yet. Maybe. Okay. Well, maybe we didn't split up until Monday then. Maybe we just walked around that day a little bit. I just remember Alyssa wanting to go to that, I don't remember. She wanted to go get something at one of the booths, and they didn't have it, or the line was too long or something.
The line was long.
Yeah, that fondue, right? In Germany?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
I can't either.
I think it's like the first one when you walk down the street on the left.
Yeah. So then we went back to the room again, just to kind of rest. And then, because we are terrible parents, we dropped the kids off at a different kids club because we wanted to go see Star Wars. And
we're genuinely not bad parents.
We really aren't. And Melanie, our 7-year-old, is very into Star Wars. She loves Rey. She loves The Force Awakens. She's probably watched it more times than I have. But she was not at all interested in going to the movie theater.
Nope.
To go see that. So it was either not see Star Wars or take the kids to a kid club.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, being the geeks that we are.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it. This time they went to the Sandcastle Club at the Beach Club because it was a walk for us. So we just dropped them off real fast. And again, they had a good time. The Sandcastle Club's not as big as Lilo's Playhouse. It was smaller. It was more comparable, I felt, to the Simba's Cub House at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Small, but they still had tons of fun. I think Captain Hook came there too.
They had Pirate Day there again.
So they did a lot of the same activities, but we're totally fine with that.
You know it's bad whenever your kid walks in, it's like, hey, it's Pirate Day again.
We're like, maybe we use kid clubs too often. But we dropped the kids off at the kid club and went over to Disney Springs, which didn't take as long as we thought it would take. So we dropped the kids off at 4:30. Our movie was at 6. We had some time to kind of walk around and shop a little bit. We went to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good. And it was surprisingly not busy because Disney Springs was like person to person packed.
Both garages were full.
Yeah, both garages, the Lime Garage and the Orange Garage, were completely full. We had to do self-parking on the ground, which makes us sound kind of elitist, but like I hadn't had to do that in a really long time. And
we thought it was for the movie, and I don't think it was for that.
No, I think it's just because it was a Sunday. I think weekends at Disney Springs are just particularly busy, and especially during this peak time as the weekend was coming in and kids are just starting to get out of school all around the country. I think Disney World in general was just getting busier, but it was insane. It wasn't. I can handle crowd levels pretty well, but it was uncomfortably crowded.
You had to zigzag to get somewhere.
Yeah, and we had just had a group of 3, and it was difficult to keep all 3 of us together at times. But like I said, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar was surprisingly empty. We got a table immediately, but the bartender must have been behind or something because it took forever for him to bring us drinks.
Yeah, because we had to get our drinks to go.
Yeah. And then we had reservations for our movie at the dine-in theater at the Disney Springs movie theater and didn't realize that it had a different entrance. So we showed up at 5:30 at the normal movie theater, and they were like, yeah, you got to walk back to basically exactly where we had been before to go check in for the dine-in experience, which I had never done a dine-in movie theater before.
That was awesome. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. My food wasn't great. Alyssa's food was better. How was yours?
It was good.
What'd you get?
A burger.
Oh. I had tried some sort of chicken bowl, and it was pretty bland.
Yeah, and they had 2 little signature drinks. I actually took a picture of the little flyer for it. A Blue Hope, which was has vodka and a few other things. I don't know how to pronounce half the stuff they put in it.
But it was a blue drink.
It was a blue drink, and then they had one. It's called Revenge of the Sip, which was red, in which they put a little glow stick in it to turn it into
like
color.
lightsabers. It was cute.
Yeah, it was really cool. But the Blue Hope, it had a vodka in it, like Crystal had vodka, and the Revenge of the Sip had Patron, and that's the one I got was the Revenge of the Sip, and it was all right. I mean, for what it was an all right.
Yeah, and Alyssa got like a sampler, like it was wings and nachos and fries and stuff like that, and it was good. And the server was really good. I was surprised actually at how knowledgeable he was about the entire menu and the whole process. And like I said, we live in Podunk, South Carolina, so we don't have any dine-in movie theaters. We're lucky to have movie theaters with stadium seating still.
I have to drive an hour for that.
Yeah, we have to drive an hour for that. So so it was kind of a new experience for us, but it was really good and really easy and less invasive than I thought it would be. I thought that I wouldn't be able to focus on the movie as much with like people coming up and down and waiters and bringing drinks and refills and things like that, but it was totally fine.
Yeah, you really didn't even know he was there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was bringing your food and he was out the door.
Yeah.
And if you needed him for any reason, there's a little call button right in front of you. You hit the button and he'll be there in just a couple minutes for a refill, or if you wanted to order something else. I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. The movie I will not comment on here. I'm sure we'll talk about that on the podcast at some other time, but I'm just not going to talk about that now. I'll talk about it later. But anyway, after the movie, we went back, picked up the kids, and they were once again like, "Oh, really, Mom?" But, I don't know what that says about us as parents. I really don't. And then the next day, Monday the 18th, was our final day at Disney World, our final full day. And it was an Epcot day. We went to the International Gateway to get in, so we just walked. Nice little 10-minute walk. And went to France, the France Pavilion, for breakfast I'm not even going to attempt to say the name of the restaurant we ate in, but it's basically the little bakery in the back of the France Pavilion. And it was good. I had no complaints, but the best part was the fact that there was nobody there.
Yeah. I think it was the second, third people in line.
Yeah, there was, literally nobody at the restaurant for breakfast. The entire walk to the France Pavilion was completely empty. The walk back was empty. And then they direct you. You can't, when you come in that way from any of the Epcot resorts, they'll let you go across the bridge to the France Pavilion, but then it's roped off, so you can't keep going around the World Showcase that way to get to Future World. You have to backtrack and go through the UK and Canada before you can get into Future World. So by the time we had breakfast and handed into Future World, it was around 10 o'clock maybe. And we had a meet and greet, a Fast Pass meet and greet with Mickey, because you guys know how I feel about the tiered Fast Pass systems, and especially in Epcot, it just doesn't work because our Tier 1 was spent on Soarin', so our Tier 2 options are pathetic.
Yeah.
Mission Space, I'm glad that it's still a Tier 2, because if it was Tier 1, there would literally be no reason to get more than one Fast Pass in Epcot.
Because I know we waited. It said 15 minutes for, what was it? We went to the Nemo's.
Yeah. No, you did the Seas, right?
Yeah.
With Nemo and Friends?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It said a 15-minute wait, which I think was more of a 30-minute wait.
And but that one does have a Fast Pass, right? That's a Tier 2?
It has that option, but we didn't have one.
We didn't. So we used our Tier 1 Fast Pass on Soarin'. So our Tier 2s, we got a Mission Space because we wanted to check out the new, say goodbye to Lieutenant Dan and say hello to Zoe from Firefly. Oh my God, I almost zoned out on that one. Bad geek. But our first Fast Pass was for the Mickey meet and greet, and that's literally, we've done it every time, and that's because it's the only other Tier 2 Fast Pass that my kids are even remotely interested in. So we met Mickey, we met Goofy, we met Minnie, and then...
And I feel sorry for anybody that plays Goofy and my son walks up.
That somehow... All right, tell me how it all started, because I've forgotten.
I wasn't there for that.
Okay, so I think it was at that very same meet and greet, right?
I remember that part.
We had met Mickey, and we were waiting or Goofy was waiting on us, I think. We were still interacting with Goofy, and his previous people had gone on. And so Goofy, being Goofy, started dancing. And part of his dancing was shaking his butt. And my son thought that was hilarious. So he started shaking his butt. And so we had this whole interaction with Goofy that was based around showing off their butts to each other.
And he did.
And yeah, and so now it's tradition that Zachary, anytime he meets Goofy at any place, in any park, he shakes his butt.
He did this time.
And
Goofy turned around and shook his butt back.
Right. So we are very, again, grateful for Disney cast members because Goofy went with it. He didn't even, look at his handler and question things. He just popped his little butt around and started dancing. So thank goodness. Thank goodness for that, because I think Zachary would be heartbroken if Goofy didn't dance with him at this point. Then we went to Soarin'. Melanie, again, was not interested in Soarin'. Zachary is terrified of soaring. We found that out last time. And so my sister, Alyssa, took the two kids to do Living with the Land. And Christopher and I went and did Soarin'. And I love Soarin'.
Yeah, we got good seats.
We did get good seats. If you ever get the chance, it doesn't matter which concourse you go on, A, B, or C, the 3 theaters. But once you get down and you're placed in... I can't remember what they're called, but there's A, B, and C again. You want to ask for B.
Yeah.
If you can, get B, and then you want row 1. B is going to be centered, dead center of the theater, so you don't get that warped side view. And then if you're in row 1, you don't get people's feet dangling in front of your eyes.
You're nearly front center.
Yeah, so we got B1 because I asked.
Yeah,
and
we were going to end up
because we were in
A.
A. We were A3 or something.
Yeah, because we asked him, can we go to B? He said, yeah, sure, go ahead.
So he waved us on. And so we got a great seat. And like I said, I love Soarin'. And So we did Soarin', and then the kids begged to do Living with the Land again, and I was like, no, I'm not waiting an hour because by that time,
a 10-minute wait to an hour.
Yeah, so we were like, no, by that time we're not waiting that long, and they were hungry, I think, so I got them food.
Yeah, and me and Alyssa went to Mission Space.
Yeah. How do you feel about the new tape on Mission Space?
The tape, the intro, I mean, I still think it's wrapped around the same one.
It's the exact same mission,
Yeah.
right?
The
Like, did they
mission,
digitize it or something?
I didn't see much difference between the two. I mean, the plot, storyline of it's still the same.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's even the same script,
I believe
just
it is.
read by a different person.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that had to be down for months, because I haven't figured it out. Now, granted, we only did orange. We haven't done green, and I've heard green is different because green stays at Earth. It doesn't go to Mars.
It says like Mission Earth on it. It don't say Mars, Mission to Mars or anything on it.
Yeah. So we didn't do green. We haven't done the new green, but
So I did orange twice.
yeah. Yeah, you did, because you did it with Alyssa and you did it with me.
Right.
But I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Mission Space. It's not my favorite thing. I don't recommend doing it after you do drink or eat around the world.
Nope, found that out loud. Well, not that you're guaranteed to get sick, but you'll feel like you want to.
Yeah, you'll feel it for sure. And then I think once again we just kind of explored. We went through the World Showcase.
We weren't in any hurry.
Yeah.
We enjoyed the day.
You and Melanie did split off to go to the pool because you had promised her you would take her to the pool at some point, even though it's freaking December.
She wouldn't shut up till I took her.
Yeah. What did you think of the pool compared to other pools?
It was nice. The slide was a lot bigger.
Was it? Was it better than the Animal Kingdom Lodge slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Looked taller.
I grabbed a drink at the bar and I sat there and watched it.
But it's kind of creepy, right? The clown?
Yeah. I don't know where that plays into it, but
It's like a weird carnival themed pool.
Oh, on the note of back to Boardwalk is some of the little things that they do at night. Like we had the little magician guy. I don't know what you'd call him.
They're entertainers.
Yeah.
Not really magicians, but they.
I can't remember what you'd call him.
Which one? The guy that kazooed?
Yeah, that little squeaky guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because it was like magic tricks, but not like a traditional magician.
Yeah, because there was one night, I don't remember what night it was, we got back, because I went to Moe's little bar there, and there was a guy right beside it, just playing. He had a little crowd there, had his little acoustic guitar and some speakers set up, and he says he's there, I think it was Saturday night, maybe?
Mm-hmm. And then didn't you say he also plays at House of Blues at Disney Springs?
Yeah, I think he said he plays there Saturday morning. For a couple hours. I think he said it was every Saturday morning. And then maybe another day. I don't really remember. But it was good. He said that's what he does full time now. Is he just goes around and plays. I don't know if he works for Disney.
Right.
But
the magicians were great. We saw the squeaky kazoo guy twice. And then we saw another guy who was hilarious. And he's the one that I told you balanced on the I don't know, cube things, and he juggled, and there's always audience participation. Zachary was incredibly disappointed he didn't get chosen either time to participate. But granted, he probably didn't want a 4-year-old handing him knives either, so It made sense. But yeah, that's the other thing that I kind of wanted to mention about this whole trip is that usually when we do Disney World, we do Disney World, right? Like we are parks almost all day. We usually take an hour or two break in the afternoon because otherwise the kids get cranky. But we are morning to close busy.
yeah, we have an itinerary that we stick to.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a schedule, we do it, and if not, Mama's not happy.
I'm a little type A. They know that about me.
But for what we done, I mean, we were in no rush to do anything.
Yeah, it was really
we had our fast passes, and we got there, we done them, we moved on.
And I feel like a lot of people would say we did spend a lot of time at the resort this time. And I think a lot of people who might go to Disney World say that that's a waste. Like, why are you not in the parks? You're paying this money to be in the parks. But for us, this is the first time I've ever been in a resort where I had as much fun at the resort as I did in the parks.
Yeah. And the wedding. Oh
my
they had
gosh!
a wedding there.
Yeah,
Right
there was
outside
a
of our window.
wedding, and they were in the courtyard having their pictures taken in front of the big Christmas tree down in the courtyard. And
That was
Christopher
nice.
shouted "Congratulations" from our balcony. Oh, and the other thing. Okay, so now we're kind of on our last night, right? Christopher and Alyssa went back to Epcot that evening,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I don't know what y'all did.
I went to Germany to buy some of the apple
Right.
liquor that they had,
Right.
which I found out if you buy a shot is $10, but if you buy the whole bottle is only $30.
So, you
So,
know.
It didn't take long
And
to figure the math out on that one. Just buy the whole bottle.
there was the candlelight processional, and Neil Patrick Harris was the narrator, and they got a couple of shots of him and got to listen to him a little bit, and of which I was very jealous, but I was packing.
I think you got to hear carolers
I
outside
did.
your window at that moment.
It's true, and like I can't even be that upset because after I done most of the packing, I opened the doors to our balcony and just kind of sat out there while the kids were resting inside. And carolers, they looked like teenagers. I don't know if they were from a local high school or college or something, but they were down in the courtyard singing near the Christmas tree. And really, I couldn't think of a more perfect way to end the trip. But yeah, all the packing and all the not fun stuff we did. And then the next morning we had our final experience at Boardwalk, which was oh gosh, how did I forget 1900 Park Fair?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, somewhere in there we did the Cinderella dinner at 1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian.
Was that Monday? Monday evening?
Maybe? Hang on.
Pull it up.
Yes, Monday evening. So, okay, well, we didn't miss it too much then. We did 1900 Park Fair with Cinderella, Prince Charming, Lady Tremaine, and the stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the food was good.
The food was good. It's buffet style. I was a little annoyed because twice I got up and I wanted a specific kind of pasta, and it was out both times. But the food was good.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd ever want to go back now that I've experienced it. I don't feel like this is a do multiple times kind of restaurant.
I think once we went through the Whispering Canyons,
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of set a
Yeah,
high bar for the rest
it
of the
did.
vacation. But I thought the character interactions were good. I have found lately that I'm less interested in like the princes and princesses and more into the side characters.
yeah. Because whenever Melanie was talking to, which,
Anastasia's the redhead. She
Yeah.
was first.
because she asked her, which one she thought was more prettier. She's me.
Me. And Melanie goes, I think you're both pretty. And Anastasia just goes, no, me. And Drusilla said, who do you think I'll say? And Melanie was like, I think you're both pretty. And Drusilla was like, okay, sure. And Lady Tremaine was funny. So it was good. It was good. Like I said, I don't think I would go back again, but I'm glad that we did it. If nothing else, just to see the Grand Floridian, because I had gone into this Christmas season thinking, having been pushed into my head, Wilderness Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, Wilderness Lodge, you'll never see anything as gorgeous as that lobby at Christmas. And I walked into the Grand Floridian at Christmas and was blown away.
Big old gingerbread house.
Giant gingerbread house. It's like 18 feet or something tall. And then you have their giant Christmas tree in the lobby, plus all these other little Christmas trees. And then the Grand Floridian's just beautiful to begin with, and stately and old, and that kind of thing. And then to see all the draping and the garland and the lights, and I really, really am glad that we went to see it. And we were going to go to the Contemporary and check out their Christmas stuff, but we decided not to. All right, so that, honestly, was the last thing from Monday. And then Tuesday, our leaving day, we had a breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno, which is one of the table service restaurants at Boardwalk. And they offer a character breakfast with Ariel, Prince Eric, Rapunzel, and Flynn.
Yeah. Flynn was hilarious.
Flynn was the best one. Like, Eric was boring. Ariel was boring. Even Rapunzel was kind of boring. And that's not usual, because I really like her typically.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Flynn was fabulous.
Yeah.
Flynn complimented Alyssa's smolder. He was great. And then the food was good.
Yeah.
It was different. Not your typical Disney breakfast. Like, I know you got pancakes and the kids got waffles. But,
You might have like a caramel.
apple
Yeah.
sauce, right?
I mean, I didn't even use syrup for it. I mean, it was good.
It was good. And I got, I forgot what it was called, but it was like eggs, and then it had bell peppers and stuff in it, and tomatoes, which I'm a giant fan of.
Start taking pictures of the menu.
I know. I do have pictures of almost all of our food. And Alyssa got like the King's breakfast or King Triton's breakfast or something that came with steak. That was good. It was very loud. I can't think of a louder restaurant that we went to. 1900 Park Fair was pretty loud, but...
Well, it's not that big, neither.
Yeah, it's true. It's pretty small.
They put a lot of tables in a small space.
Right. Which is typical for Disney, too, because they're wanting to get as many people in and out as they can at a time. But we've done a lot of character meals. I feel like we've done Akershus, we've done Be Our Guest, which isn't a typical character meal, but we've done Ohana Breakfast with Lilo and Stitch. We've done Cinderella's Royal Table several times. And while I continue to recommend them probably for first timers, because you want to get your character meet and greets along with a meal, I'm finding myself to not be as big of a fan of them as I used to be. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. The character interactions are rushed.
Yeah, because they're trying to get everybody in to get
out.
Yeah.
Plus, I understand they're also interrupting you while you're eating. And to some people that's important, I guess. But,
they don't want anyone to leave there and not get to meet a character.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
that's important.
I
Like,
why
I get
they're
it.
in a rush.
And it's important to the setup of how it's done. But I just, like, even though you and I were not big fans of the Garden Grill breakfast with Mickey and Pluto and all that character interaction was amazing. They came and grabbed our kids, and I don't even know where they went for a few minutes. Like,
Yeah, they took off.
I think it was Pluto just like grabbed one of our kids and off they went.
We thought we'd see them again at a...
Next time we came back, we were like, all right, we'll see y'all in December.
They'll be part of the Small World attraction.
Yeah, exactly. So that's probably one of the better character interactions that we've had. But I'm interested in how my own perception of character meals has changed the more often that we've been to Disney. But anywho, that was our final breakfast, and then we hopped in the car and sat in the car for 10 hours to get back home, which is never fun, but we do it because it's cheaper than flying. And, if you're going to go to Disney 5 times in a year, you got to cut corners somehow. So driving we do. But I do want to thank everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed listening about our trip report. Christopher and I aren't going to go back for like 7 months, 8 months. I think we're going to head back next July sometime for our anniversary, leaving the kids alone. And it's going to be hard for me because...
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to stand it that long.
I know. I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard. But the thing that I didn't foresee about having an annual pass is how much I want to... How easy it is for me to say, well, let's just hit the road and go.
Yeah, I mean, where you're at now, we could just be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And walk right in.
Exactly. So I'm going to do my best because we're trying to be better about spending our money wisely. But I don't know. A sudden windfall comes my way. We might be seeing another weekend sometime before then. Y'all can see the look Christopher just gave me, I swear. But anywho, I do want to thank you guys for listening. I hope you have had a wonderful holiday season and continue to have a great time with you and your family. I can't wait to hear about your own trip reports. So let me know about anything that you guys have done, anything that I need to try that I haven't tried yet. I always want to try new things every time we go. So Wild Africa Trek is definitely on our list for the next time. And maybe a new resort. We're trying to talk ourselves into staying at Boardwalk again, but...
Because it was the Polynesian was number one top on my list until I stayed at Boardwalk.
Yeah, me too.
Because we didn't, like I said, we didn't even look at your car for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I know. It was great. It was great. I truly felt like I was in the Disney bubble for the first time in a while. But anywho, thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Follow our troupe at www.dizexplorers.com, where you can find all the links for all our hosts' social media accounts. You can also follow the podcast on our Facebook group at The Diz Explorers and on Twitter and Instagram at The Diz Explorers. You can download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, and also on YouTube. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye now. Hope you had a good time. So long from Jiminy Cricket and Spectro Magic.